So in the last episode of Super Yacht News, we talked about the ongoing legal battle between the government of Antigua and the daughter of Andrei Guriev. She claims to own the vessel when we know that Andrei Guriev is the real owner. But she's going through the court system in Antigua, claiming to still have ownership of that yacht despite the fact that it's already been sold. Now, the buyer was the Yildirim Group in Turkey in a sealed bid, which is now being unsealed clearly because they're all talking about the amount and who the owner is, etc. The lawyers representing Ms. Gurieva claimed that the yacht was sold for $50 million and $10 million of those dollars had gone missing. Now, the Antiguan government says that it's not true and the actual vessel was sold for $40 million and that there's no money missing. Now, in that video, I suggested that the Prime Minister, if he was watching, should release the paperwork showing the sale of the yacht, and that would show transparency of the government and would be the end of that allegation, right? Well, later that evening, believe it or not, the same night that we posted our video in the evening in Antigua, the following video was shown on television, which will show you clips. We're not going to show the whole thing.
The document from the Finance Ministry shows the vessel was sold for $40 million or 108 million EC. Brokerage fees of $1.8 million or 4.8 million EC were deducted by Northrop and Johnson. The remaining 38.2 million were used to pay expenses related to the Alfa Nero, as well as government debt obligations. The head of government made the point as he was introduced to Chief Executive Officer of FEMA Marine SA, Nazmi Topkoglu, the man who recommended that the Yildirim Group purchase the Alfa Nero superyacht.
We did so in a very transparent way. In fact, we did so in conjunction with the advice and guidance of the Treasury Department of the United States, as well as the State Department. And the irony about it, having had such a transparent process, they're now making the claim, a fallacious one, of course, that $10 million is missing. Totally untrue.
Do you know how much worth of the vessel? I told him. He said, no, that vessel, when we buy it, worth it 30 million. Not more than for 30 million. I'm glad Mr. Yildirim paid 40 million. And then also, until now, we spent 11 million euros for to maintain the vessel.
So there you go. So it seems that the Prime Minister does watch the channel. Now, seriously, whether or not he watches the channel, it was interesting that just a few hours after posting our video, he was on television showing paperwork that alleges to prove the sale at that price. Although on face value, it does seem, to do that, it's just a piece of paper that could have been drawn up in a few minutes. There's no signatures on it. It's just you could have created that in a Word document to put their seal on it, and away you go. That's not really evidence. Now, it's certainly a step in the right direction. But I hardly think that piece of paper would hold up as evidence in court. It's pretty easy to prove how much the vessel was sold for. For example, in that piece we just showed you, they mentioned the brokerage fee of Northrop and Johnson at $1.8 million, which is 4.5% of the total price of the sale, which is easy to confirm. Northrop and Johnson they must have filed paperwork during the sale, and that would be more legitimate than that government piece of paperwork. Anyway, like I said, step in the right direction, and I'm sure that more evidence will come out, especially if it goes to court. Now, another thing that's interesting in that piece is that the Chief Executive Officer of FEMA Marine in Switzerland, his name is one I'm going to struggle to pronounce, Nazmi Topkoglu, I believe it is. He can be seen sitting at the table here with Prime Minister Gaston Brown. Now, the CEO, who I'll refer to as the CEO because his name's too hard to pronounce, the CEO was the chosen surveyor for Alfa Nero prior to the sale. So we went on, surveyed the vessel, and then he put a price on it. Now, in this video, he says that he only valued the vessel at $30 million, but it was because of the great negotiation skills of the Antiguan government that they got $40 million for it. So an evaluation of $30 million on a vessel that was up until recently valued at over $100 million is quite the depreciation. Now, he also explains that since they purchased the vessel, they had to spend $11 million in the refit, and then they're going to spend a further $2 million on it, which he suggests, it seems to be implying that it proves that the vessel wasn't worth a lot of money. But refit prices, it's quite normal for yachts to spend millions in refits. So Although they would have had to spend more because it's been neglected for so long, I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary. The funny thing is that he says it was only worth 30 million, but on the day he surveyed the vessel in 2023, he posted this on his Facebook page with the following comments, as you can see there: inspected and surveyed motor yacht Alfa Nero. She is as beautiful as the first day. So it can't be both. Is it as beautiful as the first day, or is it worth 90 million less than it was on its first day? It should be interesting to know, though, that he's just done a deal with the Antiguan government to create, to expand the registry for Antigua and the islands. So, he's got something out of that meeting as well. Now, also in the last video, we mentioned that we made contact with the lawyers that represent Miss Gurieva, famous or infamous law firm in New York, and we asked them some questions about her ownership claim, such as why she didn't claim the yacht for a year while the Antiguan government was giving the owner every opportunity to come forward, and why her father said he wasn't the owner but didn't mention her ownership. And as soon as the block on the vessel was lifted by the US government, she made her claim. We mentioned in that video that they hadn't replied, but we said it's only been 24 hours since, so it's quite possible that they would reply. Well, now it's been 72 hours and we've still not had a reply from her lawyers. Also, still remains to be very interesting why there is no legal claim against the legality of the purchase against the Yildirim Group, right, in Turkey. It's almost like they don't need to claim because they already have their yacht back. And they just seem to be, trying to get their money back now.
Thanks very much for watching this video. You've been watching a Super Yacht News clip. If you'd like to see the full unedited Super Yacht News video, you can click on the link over here. You can also find our channel links below here. And if you'd like to see more shorter videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel.